In today's video, I'm going to be discussing $500 ongoing monthly checks for virtually everyone. That's the focus of the video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. All right, now first off, if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you've certainly heard me talk about ongoing monthly checks, universal basic income, UBI, guaranteed basic income, GBI, simply basic income, or the new one that's out there now, which is UHI, universal high income. Well, all of these programs are currently playing a role into what we're currently seeing going on all across the country right now, leading to $500 ongoing monthly checks and possibly a whole lot more for some people. Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about here in this video and what is going on behind all of this, so let's get into it and talk through all the details. However, really fast before we do, can I ask a huge favor of you? If you have not done so yet, will you please make sure to subscribe to the channel? Right down below the video is a big subscribe button. Make sure to hit that if you have not done so yet. I'm here for you every single day. I'm watching the headlines, doing all the research, breaking it all down, advocating on your behalf, answering questions, and doing anything I possibly can to point out any programs that are out there right now you can possibly grab or take advantage of, especially for the low income and fixed income. There's a lot of things that are going on, and we continue to see the surveys and the reports coming out time and time again right now showing the vast majority of people have how much money? Yeah, zero, right? The answer is virtually none. It's a bad situation. Everybody is struggling financially right now. Even higher income people right now, the reports continue to show that people are struggling massively right now on the financial basis. So anyway, I want to point out anything that's going on right now. Again, that's what I want to focus on here in this video in regards to these $500 ongoing monthly checks for virtually everyone, as well as legislation that is out there as well to send out significantly more than that for a huge percentage of the population across the entire nation right now. So there's a lot of things that are happening right now. But let me explain really quickly what is going on, okay? So back in 2019, so honestly not that many years ago, we saw the first of these programs pop up in Stockton, California. The very first guaranteed basic income program showed up then. Well, guess what they found? It was very successful, sending out ongoing monthly checks, which were no strings attached to a very specified group of people, found that, wow, their lifestyles got actually a lot better. They had better housing, they had better food options, they had better health care, all kinds of different things like this. They found that the study actually worked, and wow, giving this money out to these individuals, which was no strings attached, their lives actually improved. Surprising, right? Yeah, I know, right? It's not that surprising. We know this. But anyway, since then, we've seen a ton of these different programs pop up all across the country. In fact, well over 100 of these programs have shown up all across the country, which have established essentially $500 ongoing monthly checks for the people that are specified within these groups. Now, there's actually a coalition or a partnership of different mayors all across the country right now. In fact, maybe you've heard me talk about it before in other videos, but it's called Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. Feel free to look it up if you'd like to, but it's a real thing, okay? There are mayors all across the country who are basically signing on to this and basically supporting this idea of ongoing monthly checks, no strings attached, for specific groups of people all across the country, and again, in their respective cities that they are mayors of, right? So anyway, again, feel free to look it up if you want to. Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. It's this coalition of mayors all across the country who are supporting this thing. But anyway, let me explain exactly why this is really not far-fetched whatsoever to see many more of these programs popping up all across the country, and why we may even see one of these programs popping up on a nationwide level as well. So let me explain really quickly what's going on with this. So what's happening is essentially nobody has any money, right? I mean, that's the fact, right? Like, very few people actually have any money right now. Most people are struggling financially, and that's a big situation. However, that is not the main reason why they want to implement these programs. They continue to find that there's this great divide, right? We've been hearing about this great divide for a long time, which is some people have money and they're doing fine, and then a huge percentage of the population has no money and they're struggling, in a massive way. Well, they continue to find that actually when these people that are lower income or fixed income actually receive money on an ongoing monthly basis, and they can use that money for whatever they want, just like the stimulus checks that we received back in 2020 and 2021. Those were essentially kind of the same concept. No strings attached. You could do whatever you wanted with it. You could spend it, you could save it, you could give it away, you could invest it. It literally did not matter whatsoever what we do with the stimulus checks. There were no strings attached. It was literally in advance of a refundable tax credit, and we could take that money and do whatever we wanted with it. Same concept here, but in this case, rather than a one-off check like the stimulus checks that we got a couple of years ago, these would be ongoing monthly checks in the amount of $500, which would be basically a $500 stipend that you get and then basically just do whatever you want with it, right? Spend it, save it, buy food, move into a new apartment, whatever. It literally doesn't matter. That's why they call it no strings attached payments, right? So anyway, the whole point behind this is they continue to find that, wait, if these individuals who are lower income get a little bit of extra money on a monthly basis, it's actually beneficial for the community, the city, the county, the state as a whole, and the overall economy as a whole as well. Now, here's what's interesting. Those individuals that are getting these $500 ongoing monthly payments, they actually have better health care and their health improves as well. Why? It's actually a couple-fold effect. Let me explain the details, and I find this to be very fascinating. Number one, they have better options for health care. So that's kind of obvious as well, right? But not only that, they're eating healthier foods, because here's the thing as well. People that are living on a very low income or maybe a fixed income or even receiving SNAP benefits. And again, I've seen this down below in the comment section. I've had conversations with some of you here in the community talking exactly about this. And I agree with you, which is this. Generally, healthy foods are what? Cheap or expensive? Healthy foods are very expensive, okay? We all know this. To eat healthy is generally very, very expensive. You know this as well as I do. You can get a lot more for your money if you buy, less expensive and maybe more or maybe less healthy food options, right? We all know this, right? So anyway, this is unfortunately the situation that a lot of people who are maybe lower income or fixed income or living on, receiving SNAP benefits are faced with is, do I want higher quality healthy foods, or do I want possibly lower quality, maybe less healthy foods, but I can get a lot more volume of that food, right? Well, when it comes down to somebody living on a small income and somebody receiving SNAP benefits or, food assistance, a lot of times we go for volume versus healthy options, right? A lot of times we think, hey, I need to eat for an entire month. I'm going to buy the volume of food that I need versus the health of the food that I need. Does that kind of make sense? And again, I think a lot of people can probably agree with this. This is the situation. It's a lot cheaper to eat, unfortunately, less healthy than it is to, eat healthy, right? So again, this is one of the situations that they found that people that have a little bit more money start eating a little bit more healthy, and overall their health improves as well, right? Again, surprising facts, right? I know. But this is what they find with these reports. And again, I find this to be fascinating because it's like this big cycle that if people just have a little bit more money, this is one of the situations that improves. Their health overall improves. Not only that, a lot of these people are moving to maybe better living situations, right? Maybe they're moving to a safer area of town. Maybe they're moving into an apartment or a home or something like this that actually is a little bit better, as in the heating is proper in the winter, the cooling is proper in the summer, things like this, and the water quality. Again, the whole list of things goes on and on. But they continue to find these programs are very, very successful. So this is what's going on, and we will continue to see a bunch more of these programs popping up all across the country, which are offering these $500 ongoing monthly checks for the people that are specified in these certain areas who have incomes below certain levels as well. It's always based on income, remember, okay? I always talk about that. Eligibility for any of these programs is typically based on income, and a lot of times it has other parameters as well, like do you have kids, or are you over a certain age, or is your income below a certain level, are you living within a certain city, or something like that. A lot of that plays into the role of this as well. But let me explain really quickly as well. Now, there are a piece of legislation out there in the possession of lawmakers right now. You've probably heard me talk about it before in other videos. In fact, the Support Act, feel free to look it up if you'd like to, but this one would establish a $1,200 ongoing monthly check for basically the people that have an income below $75,000 a year for an individual, or $150,000 a year as a married couple. And this would be $1,200 ongoing monthly checks for everybody across the entire country. Now, that's massive. Now, here's the thing as well. If this were to be approved on a nationwide level, I wouldn't be shocked one bit to see this $1,200 be shaved down a bit to a smaller dollar amount. That seems very high in my opinion, even though it'd be very beneficial. I just don't foresee lawmakers passing it at $1,200 per person per month for 5 years is what this would actually be. But my point is as well, think of this as well, okay? Maybe you've heard me talk about this, but the expansion of artificial intelligence, or AI, sophisticated computers and programs and basically robotics that are taking over jobs of people all across the country, we're seeing massive implementation of AI. Well, that as well is going to lead to a lot of people losing their jobs. And we've seen many people coming out suggesting we need to establish a guaranteed basic income or a UHI, universal high income, sooner than later, before it is way too late because of the takeover of the machines and AI technology. So it's very interesting to see this whole thing play out, but we are literally on the cusp of something major happening like this, because if they wait too long, like some lawmakers have said, if we wait too long, it's too late. Okay, we need to establish these programs now before it's too late, before this huge takeover like this, and they need to establish the implementation of these programs like now, before it happens, and it's all of a sudden they have to scramble and be reactive rather than proactive when it comes down to the implementation of these programs. Does all that kind of make sense? I know it's very confusing, and it's very there's a lot of moving parts here. I totally understand that, but it's interesting to watch this whole thing play out. My point is, at the end of the day, there are still these guaranteed basic income programs that are still showing up on a nationwide, not necessarily on a nationwide level yet, but on a state level, a county level, and a city level. A bunch of these are still popping up right now. Like I said, check out that coalition that I talked about earlier, Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. You can simply look it up online, find their website. I've talked about it before in other videos, but it's very popular, and a lot of mayors are signing on to this because they agree and they find that these ongoing monthly no strings attached payments are actually very beneficial and very helpful for the people that are actually receiving them. So we're in a very different time right now, okay? Things are changing very rapidly, and the more that we move forward into the future, the higher the likelihood of these programs actually being implemented, coming into play. So again, we're still seeing these showing up all the time. I see programs like this showing up all the time, different areas, locations all across the country. So I'm going to leave it at that for now, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns about this, make sure to stick that down below in the comment section. I can always answer those or come back and follow up in a separate video if you'd like me to. Otherwise, again, can you make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet? Totally free to do so. I'm here for you every single day. Otherwise, right down below next to the subscribe button is a share button. Make sure to share this video as well with your friends on your social media. Go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library, or those that I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. You can check out those there as well. Or right now, popping up on your screen, you'll see a bunch of videos as well. Check out those videos. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. I truly do appreciate you. And please subscribe down below and watch that video now. So make your selection here on the screen. Check out one of those videos, and I'll catch you right now in the next one.